You know, before we went on air, I mentioned that what we've been seeing at the Suffolk County House of Correction is more women, more young ladies coming to jail. And the nature of the crime is really aggressive. You know, they're actually as aggressive now as what the guys are known for doing, you know, muling large quantities of drugs, assault and battery with the weapon, so on and so forth. And so the whole nature of this criminal activity in the absence of mentors, you know, structured household, employment, healthcare, it really is something that, you know, we see as alarming. You know, we want to get in front of that curve. And when you also look at education, you know, and this is not a commentary on the education system here, but, you know, once again, if for whatever reason kids are dropping out of school and not going to school, they're missing something that's very valuable there. And that also tends to lead to being incarcerated. Deb, let me ask you, do you have situations, you know, I'm not asking to cite any specifically, but where some of these young ladies really are coming from a real troubled existence, and how do you deal with that?
You know, we often say that girls are at risk, and they're at risk for not reaching their potential. And the fact is, there's nothing wrong with girls. There is something wrong with the environment that they're growing up in. And mentoring is preventative. So if we're getting there early, then we're going to show them that there is another way. Because if they have somebody that believes in them, that shows them their potential, that really takes their strengths and gives them back to them so they can see it, and then they have this over a course of like 5 years, then there will be a change in their lives. So yes, we are seeing that. We're seeing it when we even assess girls and we see the environments they're growing up with. If you look at that and you see, here's a 12-year-old girl who's saying, I love to rollerblade, I love to bake, I love to hike, I love to cook, I love to listen to music, I want to be an architect or a lawyer. And then you hear at the same time her mother telling you that, you know, the house is being foreclosed and they need another place to go. And then you hear when you ask the little sister, the potential little sister, they say, what are you worried about? She says, violence in my neighborhood. So you think about that environment and you realize that she can go down one or two paths. And with a big sister, we know that she's going to go down the right path because she has someone to believe in her and someone to show her what's possible. So yes, we definitely see that. The other thing I want to mention is that with adolescent girls, we run a group program. And again, we do this in middle schools throughout the city. We do it in community centers during the summer. We do it at camps. And this program is from 15 to 22 weeks. And they're adolescent girls with a social worker. And it's a psychoeducational preventative model where a social worker is guiding the discussion around issues of drugs and alcohol, around sexual decision making. The girls in a safe space get to ask questions, things that they don't know about and they need help and guidance on. So that program, we served 900 girls last year on that program. We want to continue that program, but all these programs won't exist unless we do continue doing the fundraising.
Let me ask you, do your services include the family, the moms also?
That's a good question, because we often say that you're being matched to a little sister, but you're being matched to a family. Because Charmain has a very good relationship with Tashina's mom, and it's absolutely part of the family. The social worker also works with the family as well as the big sister and the little sister, so family is absolutely involved.
Yeah, do you also match up the families with other social agencies? I mean, if there is a situation that is outside of the scope of your responsibilities and duties, you do have partnerships and relationships with other organizations.
Absolutely. Whether it's DCF, whatever, there's all the social service agencies, we know other resources available to them, like that foreclosed house. There's a program in the city to help that woman. So we have a list of references. We're always referring families to other agencies that can provide the support that we can't, because we are a mentoring organization. And the Big Sister cannot do it all. The Big Sister is really a friend, an adult friend for that child, and we try to keep that focused on that so that they don't get involved in those other issues. But the social worker back at Big Sister is helping that family succeed.
I would second that. The Big Sisters are really helpful in terms of giving you information about different events that are going on in the community, to checking in with you to see how things are going. I remember I was feeling a little anxious about my relationship with Tashina, because when we talk on the phone, it's like you get this, she's a teenager now, so you get these one-word answers, yes, no, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But when we are together, things are right back to where they were. But the social worker said, don't worry, it's, it's this adolescent stage, you'll be okay. They kind of go through this phase where they're spending more time with their friends. But it's really a good reminder that, she is an adolescent, this is okay. So they're really, really supportive. I think the social workers are a big support. And if people are worried about, I don't have time, just knowing that you have a social worker there that's going to help support you through that process is great.
Let me ask you this. Do you expose your little sister to your friends, to your circle?
Yes.
Outside of just you and she together?
Oh, definitely.
And how does she take to that? And how do your friends friends take to her.
Oh, they love it. She, you know, she's like part of, one of my friends was saying, you know, I was talking to my friends about becoming big sisters. And they say, yeah, you don't know Tashina, she's always around with us. So she's definitely a part of my family also.
Let me ask you, Deb, and I want to ask you, Charmain, what about this gets you up in the morning? You know, doing this every day to go and do this. Tell us about that. What inspires you to get up and go and do this every day?
Oh, hearing these stories, talking to big sisters like Charmain, every day going into the office and hearing another story, talking to social workers, and the excitement at Big Sister, the commitment is amazing. It's just, we're all aligned to help the girls of this city to reach their potential. It's like we're not done. It's 24/7, no doubt about it, because there's going to be another girl that we need to reach and another girl that we need to reach. So we're always talking about the work that we do and telling stories about these girls. These girls that need, we have 319 girls on the wait list right now.
Wow.
That has grown substantially. And so we're in need of big sisters. And we actually, again, it gets back to that we need the financial support in order to do it. We have the great people on staff. The social workers are so committed. Everybody at Big Sister, and I want you to come and visit us, actually, Steve. I want you to hear it from the social workers. I want you to find out more about these programs. But that's what gets me going, is that I know that every time we have another match, another Big Sister, like Charmain with Tashina, then that girl has the opportunity to reach her potential, that her life will change. There's no doubt about it. Her life will be different because she has someone that believes in her, someone that is there for her, someone that she can depend on. And that builds trust, and then she changes the way that she thinks about herself and what she's capable of. That, I mean, every day I get excited thinking about that.
I see.
Yeah.
Charmain, for you, what inspires you to do this work?
I think, you know, I work in a number of settings with high school students in the juvenile court, and it is the hope that things will get better, the hope that this girl would succeed. It's really the hope that inspires me, and to see some of the success stories that kids are succeeding. That really.
Oh, if you meet Tashina, I mean, you'll see. I mean, I wish Tashina were here so that you could see. I mean, because her standing up there at the Opera House last November, introducing the mayor, so confident and so excited to be there, and being able to communicate in the way that she did is, and she says it's because of the leadership, because she's her leader too, her friend, and she's learning so much from Charmain.
How long can the young ladies, the young girls, stay in the program? Do they age out at some point?
They do age out. They age out at 18. But then we still encourage the big and little sister to stay together, and they do. Sometimes the lifetime relationship. I mean, we had this, what we call a former little sister, but she's still a little sister. She's in her 20s, and her big sister now is in her 80s. And they have a relationship. I mean, so these they go on forever. You know,
it's just, it's heartwarming to hear that, you know, folks can really reach out and think about others and not just themselves. We are out of time. I just want to thank you for coming on today. You know, once again, Deb, real quick, give us your website address and your telephone number.
www.bigsister.org, 617-262-0860.
Thanks for coming on. And Charmain, really, thanks for coming on and telling us
it was a pleasure being here.
All about what you do there. Now, folks, we're going to take a break, and on the other side, we've got Charles Clemens from 106.1 who's going to come on and talk about all the wonderful things that they're doing at that station. But I just want to implore you to get involved, become active, and really help these young ladies help the young girls that they serve. They do such a fine job.